Welcome back to the Stoop football fans. It's your boy Lolo. We have a special live episode starting right now, and we are talking about what the hell is going on with the Premier League officiating, the VAR, all that nonsense. It's a red card, it's not a red card, it's letter of the law, he didn't mean it, he meant it, last man, double jeopardy. What's going on with Mike Dean? What's going on with all the other clowns? Anyway, we're about to go live, so let's get to it. What's going on, football fans? It's Lolo. I got Naji here. Naji, how you doing, man?
Doing good. How are you, Lolo?
I'm doing very good. You know, I'm just getting over all the red card madness that has been happening to Arsenal lately, and the yellow cards and the officiating that I think is just not been fantastic as of this past week and a half or so. But I'm getting over it. I've got a lot of Leeds United people talking a lot of smack right now, so coming for my hair, so getting my mind off of the red cards. But how are you, man?
Doing good, can't complain. You know, I told you last week it's gonna be negative. We're gonna be going into negative vibe again if Chelsea do not win against Sheffield.
Yep.
And it looks like we were going for a draw after what Rudiger did. But
dude, Rudiger's own goal was ridiculous, man. That was
it was a miscommunication between him and Mendy. Mendy was going out for it, and then Rudiger is like passing the ball back. But the most important thing are the 3 points. I didn't like what Jorginho did with the penalty. He hopped again, and I was like, "Oh my God, not again, Jorginho!" But as long as he's scoring them, I'm not gonna complain about it.
Well, yeah. For those of you who don't know, Naji is an avid Chelsea fan for some reason. I don't know where he picked up that habit, but he knows a lot about that. You were telling me before we get to all the referees and the red cards and all that. You were telling me you've got some issues with Jurgen Klopp. What's going on with that?
Yeah, I think he's a bad champion. You know, he won to the final of the Champions League and won it, and he was all happy and rosy with the media. He was doing like interviews for like 20 minutes. If you listen to interviews with Jurgen Klopp, and all of a sudden he wins the league also last year, and it was all good to go. But then this year things are not going the way that he wants. And he's complaining about the changes. He's complaining about referees, about coronavirus. He complained about Pep Guardiola having 2 weeks off when he had nothing. And all of a sudden, he's a bad champion, and he's showing it right now in the media. He's snapping at reporters, and he's being unprofessional. I'm really upset with him.
Yeah, me too, man. I you know, especially for an Arsenal fan to say this, but I really like Jurgen Klopp. I liked him at Dortmund. He's just a fun guy, but that's been a big issue with the way they're playing. It's correlating to his attitude.
Yeah.
It's like the chicken and the egg. Like, which one comes first? Is it his bad attitude that's leaking into the team? Is it the team's bad playing causing the bad attitude, making
right?
I don't know.
But I told you. We discussed it maybe like a month ago when we did when you asked me there is 5 teams in the top 5 right now who is going to be out, and I told you Liverpool back then, and I still stick with it right now. I'm sticking with it.
Yeah. Well, we got Chris, our Liverpool guest, who comes on, who said if they don't get top 4, he doesn't want to be top 5, 6, or 7. Like, he's like, we better not even be in the Europa League. Like, it should be a rebuilding year. Like, that's nonsense, man.
They have only enough good players to play right now, and you're playing 3 games every 10 days. Henderson and Fabinho, they're playing center backs. Who's playing in midfield? You know, and that's every single game. And they bought Kabak from Schalke.
Yeah.
Did you see Schalke's record this season before he went?
They've been taking all of our Arsenal rejects. You know,
they won 1 game this year, conceded a ton of goals, and then they're bottom of the Bundesliga. So people said that they bought Kabak, he's gonna be good. No, he needs time to adjust to the Premier League.
He's not going to be the fix. He's not going to fix it right away.
Definitely not. No. And if Jurgen Klopp continues. You know, we know what happened with Mourinho and the media. We know what happened with a lot of coaches with the media. Don't get into it with reporters. They're
No,
gonna
no,
ask,
no.
and it was a fair question, to be honest. She's like, "You are 10 points away from Liverpool, from Man City. What's happening?" That's a fair question,
No,
you know.
man. That's yeah, but when you're grumpy, like when you're grumpy and somebody asks you a simple question, you retaliate.
Yeah, you
Like
know,
he's like hangry all the time now. He's just hangry. He's like
more than ever right now.
all right. Well look, let's get into hey Calvin, what's up, man? You need a red card for your birthday. My birthday's not for a while, but go ahead and bring it. Go ahead and bring it, Calvin. Calvin gets grumpy all the time, man. He's like just like Jurgen Klopp right there. When he's happy, it's all good. But then when he's grumpy, you ask him a simple question and he wants to chop your head off.
Yeah,
Anyway, let's get to red cards. Let's get to referees. Currently, right now in the Premier League, there's been a lot of debate about why, for what a lot of people deem as the best league in the world
yeah,
for football, has the worst refs and has the worst usage of VAR.
yeah,
And I don't I'm busy watching every single Premier League match, so I don't get as much time to watch Bundesliga, La
yeah,
Liga, Serie A, Ligue 1,
yeah,
any of the MLS stuff. So it's tough. So I can't really fairly judge that our referees are the worst,
yeah,
but I just got to say, like they are overworked as well,
yeah,
and it just seems like every other red card decision is appealed and overturned, except if you're an Arsenal player. But it seems like the usage of VAR and referees on the pitch, just like when VAR came in, it took a lot of the steam away from them. It took a lot of the power away from them, and they felt like, oh, I guess we'll leave that to VAR. And they were kind of afraid to make decisions. But now you got people like Mike Dean and Craig Pawson who are like,
yeah.
no, I made my decision and that's my
Exactly,
decision and that's what I'm going with. I don't care what
exactly.
VAR says. I'll go look at the screen because I have to, but I don't care. And to me, it's like, calls are going to go your way and calls are going to go against your club. And
Yeah,
I'm fine with all that, but just I need some consistency. I
yeah,
just need some consistency in refereeing. If you're going to let the boys play, then let them play. If you're going to call little niggly fouls,
yeah.
then call them all,
On
right?
everybody.
Like on everybody.
Yeah,
And if you're going to suggest going to the monitor, then make it a thing. If you give a red card, you should be forced to go
yeah,
no matter what, even if it's like a clear red. Let me just double check this,
yeah.
because it changes the game.
Exactly.
Changes the game completely. Arsenal were winning. Once again,
Right.
game's over. It was games ago, whatever. But Arsenal were so clearly on the front foot
Yeah,
that to me, a double jeopardy thing of you give him the penalty. Why are you dropping us to 10 men?
yeah.
All those, and he went and looked at the monitor too. But so there's my intro rant, Naji. What are your thoughts?
Here's my
Basic.
intro rant. I want to get something off my chest. I do not like VAR. And you could call me old school. You could call me not positive, not progressive. I don't like VAR. Get me back to what we used to do before. They're calling offside like with inches now. You see what I mean? I don't like VAR, but if you want to make VAR count, go to the monitor. Referee, go to the
Exactly.
monitor and check what did you call on the field. Don't let anybody talk to you in the ear and confirm that. Go check it yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let anybody make a decision for you. Go check it. Make sure it is the correct decision. And if it's not, change your mind. Don't be arrogant, like you said. If
Exactly.
you're wrong, you're wrong. That's okay. If you want to get it right, just make sure you get it right and change your mind. But Mike, Mike Dean and Michael Oliver, they are so arrogant, both of them. They call a penalty, even if they go check sometimes, it's not the right call. Everybody sees it, not the right call. They stick with it. And that, it's really bad on the Premier League, to be honest.
Like for real, with the Mike Dean on the Soucek.
Yeah,
So I know we were planning on going through these like
yeah,
individually, but I feel
yeah,
like it's a lumped thing nowadays. But with the Soucek one, if we're talking clear and obvious, the reason you bring VAR into it, so
yeah.
let's go by the law of that. The reason you bring VAR into it is with a clear and obvious error on a
Right,
red card, on a penalty decision, and on a goal.
right.
Clear, those are the only times. Clear and obvious errors
Yeah,
on the referee's part. So either he missed it or he called it wrong. So they think VAR tells him, because originally he didn't call it, right?
yeah,
He didn't see it, he didn't call it.
yeah.
So VAR tells him,
Uh-huh.
you should have a look at this.
Okay.
Which to me, VAR shouldn't have even told him that.
Mhm.
VAR should have been like, VAR should have been able to see that there's nothing in that. But then they give it to him and they say, you should come look at this.
Yeah.
So he goes over there and freaking 20, 30. How many
He
times did he watch it?
he watched it exactly 20 times. And you made the wrong decision after 20 times. That tells you you were not going to change your mind. If you watched it 50, you wouldn't have changed your mind. And to be honest, that's the situation, you know.
Yeah. Oh
He
my God. Sorry. Mickey leads here. Worst bar decision. I agree. Because he had to be at the bar to make that decision. Has to be the Bamford, which I keep referring to as the handball, but it's
I
not.
know.
It's the handoff. Yes.
We spoke
That,
about it before in our
we'll
previous video.
yeah, we'll get into the offside, but right now sticking with the whole penalty issue. So go on. He watched it 20 times.
20 times. Now the thing is, the two guys were grappling each other's, you know, trying to catch each other. You know how it goes when there is a free kick, a corner kick, and then all of a sudden Soucek was touched
Mitrovic.
by Mitrovic. He wanted to escape, and you know, players, you know, just take your hands off or whatever. And all of a sudden, yeah, he was not looking to him face to face. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
So his elbow came on Mitrovic's face by mistake.
Yeah.
He didn't do it on purpose.
I'm a short guy. You know, you're not all that tall. I've had tall guys. They know this move. This move is, and I'm talking like at a deli. I'm not even talking about playing football. I know that move where like I accidentally bump someone and they go, "Excuse me, little man." That was the move. And then Mitrovic, to me, watching it 20 times in slow motion, what he should have seen was the contact. Mitrovic, a thought bubble literally popped up, and he went, "Huh, I got touched in the face.
I know.
I got an idea." Oh, and he fell down on the ground. Like
that's what.
But to me, clear and obvious means if you don't see it upon watching the review twice, like go and watch it in slow-mo, maybe ask for a different angle, and then watch it full speed, and then it's done. It's either clear and obvious or it's not.
Exactly. And that shouldn't have been given, and it was rescinded, as you know, as everybody knows, it was rescinded. Soucek now played yesterday, I believe, against Man United.
He did.
And Mike Dean, you know, he received death threats for
Jasbir here says, "Hey up, Lolo. Did you know that Mike Dean had death threats towards us?" Yes, I do, and we want to get into that. Exactly, Mickey. I disagree with all the disrespect. We will get into that. Definitely, hang tight. We're gonna bitch first. We're gonna get all this out first. But I guess this would be a good time to take a pause and moment and say, yo, the death threats, the racial slurs to Rashford and to anyone of color or
even Hudson-Odoi got some.
Hudson-Odoi. It's ridiculous. Like, come on, it's football. It's football. I know. Look at me. I'm trying to make this my livelihood. So it matters more to me than it matters to your average fan. But it's ridiculous.
I know. We don't condone any death threats to anyone, you know.
Nothing.
And this is not the way it should be done. Now,
I don't even condone sending him a personal tweet.
Yeah.
Because it's not about Mike Dean on Twitter. It's about Mike Dean on the pitch. If you have an issue with Mike Dean on the pitch, send a formal written letter to the FA or to the Referees Association.
Yeah.
Don't, like, what kind of pussy are you that you need to threaten? Like, get off. Sorry.
Yeah. If
No,
I was
man.
Mike Dean, I would ask the FA to, give me a break. But, just he need a break. He needs a
Yeah.
break.
Yeah.
He needs to, refresh a little bit. But death threats, no, we shouldn't be condoning that at all.
No, it's nonsense. And then I keep hearing people, oh, in this day and age, look at where we are. But this type of shit has been happening since football ever existed. I mean,
Yeah.
you have in South America referees
Yeah.
getting murdered. You have people who accidentally let in a goal being murdered.
Pablo Escobar in
Yeah, Pablo
1994
Escobar.
World Cup. Yeah. The only thing is, I just want Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to do more. I don't think
Yeah.
they're doing enough
Yeah.
to stop these people. I don't know how difficult it is for them to know who is doing it and inform the police about it. I don't know. But something should be done by these companies in order to catch these people,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if we want to talk about this day and age, there's a paper
Yeah.
trail. This day and age, unless you're some sort of hacker who's hiding your
Yeah.
Twitter, like most of these guys who are sending these racial things and death threats and stuff like that are just, half of them are probably kids, to be honest, with the amount of crap I see on Twitter, where you got to be careful who you get into a Twitter argument with, because then
Yeah,
you see
I
it's
know.
like, all right, I'll argue more with you later. I got to get to bed. My mom's calling me. Oh, shit. Anyway,
I want to jump to the Martial penalty kick.
go
Do
for
you
it.
mind?
The
Do you
six,
mind?
at what, 6-0? It was already 6-0 for that one.
Anthony Martial, if you're watching, shame on you for doing that. You dive before the defender even got next to you, got
Yep.
near you, Bednarek.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, and you're falling at 6-0, and the referee gives it, which is fine. You could give it. Go check VAR, and you insist that it's a penalty.
It's
No matter what no matter what the final result was, 9-0, and people are like, oh, it ended 9-0, so it doesn't matter. No, it does.
It does matter.
It
It
does
matters
matter
immensely. It matters
because
immensely.
that's the second red card. That's number one. That's the second red card.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing with 9 men. They don't know what even happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then goal difference, it helps Man United in that sense.
Yep.
With goal difference at the end of the season.
Yep.
They were plus 10 in goal difference, and all of a sudden after that game they went to plus 19.
Yeah.
Like, this is a big difference.
Yeah.
And then Martial falling in the penalty box, it's shameful. Really.
It's shameful. It's shameful. Looking back to talking Leeds Arsenal coming up, so I've been doing my history, but back to that Aston Villa match last season or season before, where Patrick Bamford went down there was all this tussle, and he went down, and the player got a red card for it. And afterwards, Patrick Bamford, like his whole family made fun of him because in the replays he wasn't touched. Like he held his face and he fell down. Yeah, in the championship.
Yeah.
And he was like, "That was my most shameful." Not because of what anybody said in the media, but because my mom told me it was shameful.
Oh,
Martial, your family needs to tell you how shameful that was.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, you're a first, second place, top of the league team.
Yeah.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be reprimanding him for that.
He should.
Oh, you got the call. You got the goal, because they rescind the red card, but they don't take back the goal.
No. And then you know what? He is not the first time. He's done it before, and he took yellow cards for simulation before, Martial.
Yeah.
That's 7 penalties for Man United this year, to be honest. That's the second highest in the Premier League after Leicester City.
Yeah.
And that's why Bruno Fernandes is top scorer. I mean, people like to ask why. This is why.
Yeah.
Some of the penalties are soft.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are clear, but some of them are soft.
Well, what about all this that we've been reading from former referees that have said, yeah, I know for a fact you have clear biases. You have biases against, if even if you're not told to have these biases, there's a natural bias, and It may be from the league, it may be from your family, it may be from whatever, but you're more likely to card a certain team or a certain player than another one.
Yeah,
What do you think about that?
I really don't like to hear these things because it will
Yeah.
mess up my football, memories and all that stuff. Like, imagine a referee comes like Howard Webb right now, and he's like, "Yeah, I gave Man United that penalty to win that." No, I don't want to hear it. Keep it to yourself, man. It only damage the game and ruin it for us, as fans, people that love to watch the game.
Well, no, I mean, yes, I get what you're saying, but you're kind of saying no, don't let me see behind the curtain. Like, lie to me is what you're saying.
Don't say anything.
Don't say anything.
Yeah, don't
I'm
say.
the other way. I'm going, no, tell me everything. Tell
You
me
want to
everything.
know.
Like, yeah,
You
I
want
want
to
to
know.
know, because I want to know if I'm just ranting about my team, about conspiracy theories, or if there's something behind it,
Yeah.
And I know in the past it would be no, the calls would go in Arsenal's favor. I don't know.
I
I don't
think the
know.
best team on the field won, like the Invincible with Arsenal, that team was really invincible, to be honest. When
Yeah.
when Chelsea won the Premier League with Mourinho in 2004, 2005, those years they were really good.
Yeah.
When Liverpool won it last year, they were really good. When Man United won it with Sir Alex, they were really good.
Yeah.
Um,
I
you
mean,
know,
I wouldn't say there's any. I wouldn't say that
I
we've
just,
had any false champions
yeah,
in at least in the past decade.
yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't say that, but what about the season when Man City and Liverpool were like 2 points away from each
I
other?
know, I know. Yeah,
Now we could probably go back and
and see that.
scrutinize
Yeah,
every single
right.
match, and then you may see, oh, yeah. Mickey says VAR has ruined a lot, to be honest. It's every week there's a decision that's wrong. Tell me about it,
Right.
man. When we started the show, we had to stop doing shows about VAR because it was like every week we were talking about
Was
why we wanted to talk about football.
he's talking about last season there. He's right.
He says
He's right.
Sheffield Villa game, goal line technology works. That was last season
That
where
was
the
last
goal
season.
went in, but
Yeah.
they blocked all the cameras.
Right.
However, the camera that we're all watching, as like everyone is saying, it went in.
That's true. That's true.
Unbelievable.
Oh,
Let's continue with the red cards for a second. And I want to go to so we talked Soucek, we talked Bednarek.
David Luiz.
Let's go home to David Luiz here, where you still have people debating
Yeah,
if there was contact or not.
I know.
Because you have first time ever playing in the Premier League, Willian Jose trying to make his mark, hasn't been able to do squat in the entire match, hasn't had a sniff.
I know.
And then he finally gets one, and he's going. And to me, Leno has him smothered. The ball is in front of him. Leno has him smothered. So that's why David Luiz kind of backs off and doesn't go in for a stupid challenge. And I think he feels David Luiz behind him and is waiting for anything, and he feels a touch on his heel and he falls. Now they're saying, had David Luiz actually gone in for a challenge, it only would have been a yellow card and a penalty.
Mm-hmm.
But since he didn't play the ball and there was contact, there's no double jeopardy, whatever. So yeah, there, I laid that out for you. What are your thoughts?
I don't think.
And Mickey, we'll talk about Pepe and Alioski, okay? You keep that out of here. That was a red card because the idiot gave him a headbutt. But Alioski deserved it.
I don't think Pepe. I don't think David Luiz intended to foul him or touch him or anything, But it happened, maybe.
Yeah.
But it wasn't intentional. But let me tell you, it was the benefit of the doubt with David Luiz.
Yeah.
In a year and a half with Arsenal, he got 3 red cards, and 6 penalties.
Naji, you don't want to look behind the curtain, but right now you're telling me that there's a bias against David Luiz. That the ref was like, yeah, he probably hit him because it's David Luiz.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. You've seen it everywhere. I mean, with Joey Barton, or when everything happens, with free players like that, they don't get the benefit of the doubt. David Luiz, 6 penalties with Arsenal in a year and a half.
Yeah.
And
but that's what I'm saying. His penalties are usually he's been burnt.
Yeah.
Open goal pretty much, and he tackles somebody, and he's going like, "Yep, I know." And to me, is like later in the game or later that day, there was another match, and somebody got beat, and the guy was going towards the box, and Shirt pull everything in his power to tackle the guy, tackles him down, and they're like, "Okay, yellow card, foul." Because he wasn't right there, or because one guy on the other side of the pitch was further. But this aggressive, like everything in my power to tackle this guy, he's pulling his shirt, wouldn't fall down, pulls his shoulder, falls down. Like versus maybe clipping his foot.
Yeah. Look,
to me, still give him the penalty. Don't give him the red card.
Yeah, I agree with that.
The letter of the law, if they give him the penalty, they have to give him the red card because he didn't play the ball.
Yeah,
sorry,
but he didn't do it on purpose, and that's the thing. I'll be like,
purpose doesn't come into play.
The penalty should be given, I think, but I think the red card was a little bit excessive, to be honest.
Yeah.
On that
one. Thank you, Mickey. Finally, we agree on something. That was never a red card. And look at Grealish. He falls 15 times a game and keeps getting fouls. Well, that's how you get legs like that. He does squats by getting off of the pitch.
A lot of them.
We need robo refs. I don't know about robo refs. I mean, we've already got got VAR in here, and
with millimeter stuff. Like now some people score and you have to wait. Like, you can't celebrate anymore. You have to wait because there might be a handball. There might be a foul that happened, before we scored or what, and
that's another one to me. If they need to bring in 5 axis points to figure out if the edge of my sleeve and that guy 20 yards across the pitch, his kneecap or his toe, like if they need to do that, then you go with what was called on the field.
Yeah.
Because clearly that's not an advantage. If this is an advantage and this isn't, then the rule is nonsense.
And I'll give you one thing that I've heard it before in the past. The advantage should always be with the striker. So if it's like inches away, the advantage should be with the striker, not with the defender. And
like in baseball, a tie goes to the runner. That's what we know. If it's a tie goes to the runner is safe. So Mickey just asked, so lads, if you had a choice, would you choose to ditch VAR? No. I think, and this may be me as an American who I'm used to all the video being integrated.
I know.
But to me, I think it needs to be. I think you do need to give the referees back some of their balls. Because we've clipped their balls completely, where the guy's afraid to, for what, 100 years? 100 years, the linesmen have been trained so well that they can see an offside, and they're not. They're really, their record is still outstanding. If you look at the amount of calls they make, the no call, the call, the amount that are actually wrong is a tiny amount. It's just crucial when it happens. So now they're afraid to do it. Meanwhile, the play keeps happening, and they're like, well, by the way, guys, 5 minutes ago that was offside, but the play's already gone.
Yeah.
But I think we gotta kind of go with what's. I think if they know for sure that he was offside, freaking call it. And you
Yeah.
know what? Maybe you might get one wrong. Maybe you
Yeah.
might have blown it too fast.
Yeah.
But somebody's going to get hurt.
Right. That's
Somebody's going
another
to get
thing.
hurt.
Yeah. I think the referee on the field should be empowered to make the decisions.
Yep.
You know, so if VAR told him, hey, you need to check this, okay, that's fine. He needs
Yeah.
to go and check it and then make a decision. No decision should be given to him from upstairs.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and it's been really working in the Italian league, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
The Italian leagues, well, they started VAR a year ahead of the Premier League, so they have more experience with that. But I think the referee on the field should be making these decisions.
Yeah. 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 Hold on. Mickey's asking about. I think you're talking about when City scored. He was offside. He came in from an offside position, or discuss the lady what did it against West Brom where they stopped and City scored.
I think that was the first goal, maybe.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Oh my God. These bluebirds. One just shat on my computer. Every day at this time, they all come up to this tree. God damn it. That's disgusting. Red card for real. Ugh.
You have it on your hat too, I guess.
Oh my God. Well, these are just the berries that they're fucking eating. Oh my God. This is disgusting. Fuck you guys. Hey, look, maybe I can show you. They're all nope,
Yeah.
nope. Anyway, okay. So hey, what's up, Satish? I guess Satish.
Satish, yeah.
Love your channel and the different guests you have on. Thank you so much. Don't forget, guys, if you're here, put a like in there and share it with other people. Let people know that we do fun stuff like this. And don't forget, tomorrow I will be on All Leads TV with Joe and Oscar at 1 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock Leeds time. And then we are going live 2 hours after that, 3 o'clock our time. See, now they're gone. Yeah, so here's our 3 o'clock. It's going to be me and Lawler against James, and Joe will be on there, Joe from All Leads TV, and we will be having an opposition debate. And then Friday, I know a lot of you guys out in Leeds are actually in Leeds, but we will be doing a happy hour featuring fans of Arsenal and Leeds United. We'll be doing trivia, games, taking shots, trash talking. It'll be late night for you guys, but if you guys could stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning, but for us people stateside, 10 o'clock, nice and early, you ain't got shit. You ain't got anything else to do on a Friday night anyway. So join in, Naji. You're welcome to join in as well. All the guys will be there. Yes, Poggers, you will see me there. I'm a big fan of Joe. Yes, sir. We'll be there. And then, you get an hour break and then you hop onto the Stoop and you get to talk to some of us about that. Let's see. Chris Thompson says, in all seriousness, the day is not so far away where there will be no officials on the pitch anymore. Mr. VAR will suffice. It's true. It's true. I'm still wondering why there's no overhead cam. You could just make it high enough that nobody can kick it. But anyway, so I want to pop up this tweet that I saw. I'm just covered in these fucking berries. So this is from Cannon Chatter, which is a really cool Arsenal guy who puts fun stuff up. He says, let's chat mic up the ref. For anyone who watches or has ever watched American football, you will know that the ref has a mic, and when a penalty is called, he turns it on and explains why to the crowd. Would you like to see that similar idea introduced into the Premier League? Fellas, for those of you guys watching, ladies, fellas, whoever's here, what do you guys think about that? And let's leave that graphic up for a minute, just while we're talking about it, because it's not in my way, it's not in Naji's way. Naji, what do you think about that?
I love it. I love it. I love listen to the referee when watching American football games. Sometimes I start calling it like with my son next to me. I'm like, listen, look, holding, offense or deep. I love it. Yeah, I would like it, of course.
Well, I mean, it would be a lot. It would be a lot of talking, but for real, sometimes when he walks away and you just see him, So if play has stopped, he needs to go.
Yeah.
There's no foul. There's no penalty. He was ruled offside, as opposed to they look.
Yeah.
He blows his whistle and goes no, and then they start playing, and you're like, wait, what
Yeah.
the fuck? Yeah, Chris, drone officials. That's what we need. As long as they're wearing like Newcastle jerseys, so we can tell their stripes. Mr. Tom, welcome to the show. I wonder what goes through the mind of someone who thinks I have real life stuff to be getting on with. Gotta threaten Mike Dean's wife instead. For real. Because they don't have real life stuff going on.
Yeah.
To them, their team is their world. And this would have to be West Ham fans, right? Like, West Ham fans, you should just be happy that you're in 5th place. Like,
Yeah.
wait, was it? It was West Ham, right? Yeah, West Ham was
yeah.
the one that he got him from.
Mm-hmm.
There's one thing about that, Lolo. The officials certainly are respected. You mean in the overall world of football? I think actually last night I watched this mini documentary that they have on ESPN Plus called The Game, where they follow, I believe it's a German league or an Italian. I don't know. They follow a referee and the VAR booth, all the referees, all 4 officials, and you hear their microphone and you hear them the whole game. And it's amazing to see them getting into it with players. And then afterwards going, you see what I was talking about there? Yeah, man. Yeah. Fantastic to watch. The best part for me was halftime, where they just showed the 4 officials sitting in a tiny little locker room together. One's eating a banana. The other one's like looking at something on his phone, dead quiet. And he goes,
Yeah.
You sure that wasn't a penalty? Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It was just like you expect them to be like doing some interesting.
Yeah, I like
shit.
anything behind the scenes is amazing,
Yeah. The officials certainly are respected in the NFL. The officials are respected.
They make mistakes, but
I think so many of them, like
yeah.
we don't get mad in an NFL game. Generally, you don't get mad at the head official. Like Mike Dean wouldn't get death threats.
Right.
The person who missed the call,
yeah,
because there's so many of them. They're everywhere.
Yeah, it happened to you guys, New Orleans, a couple of years ago.
Twice in a row.
Twice in a row, yeah.
Yeah, the Saints were robbed. Thank you very much, Mr. Director Man. Saints were robbed on that. And so what you get mad at is the process, the fact that play couldn't get reviewed, which does happen in the Premier League as well, because like we said earlier, the only things that can go to VAR are offside, red card, either given when a red card's given or if a red card is missed, and a goal.
And a goal and a penalty, maybe.
Penalty, red card.
Red card.
So those 4 situations. So that's when you're like, wait a minute, this happened over here. Or like when the ball went out of bounds, I think it was Man City or Man United, when they, or even Chelsea maybe, where they kicked it from way back, like a right back kicked it. Okay. It curved out of bounds, came back in, they went on to score a goal. So technically the ball went out.
Yeah.
And somebody, if you remember what game I'm talking about, Mr. Tom probably knows that. He's with all the research. But like, why isn't that reviewable? Or like the ball rolled out.
That should be, in my opinion, that should be reviewable if you're going to review stuff like that,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Okay. Mr. Tom says soccer is definitely the sport where the ref is the least respected element. Yeah. I can see that, and that's tough. Like you, in that documentary, The Game on ESPN Plus, they at the end, it was funny. The main referee goes outside at the end, and you see a cab pull up, and his dad's in the back of the cab, and he sits in the cab like he's being picked up from school.
Yeah.
And he just sits there, and he's a normal guy, and he's like, "How'd you do?" Or "It was a good game." Well, not for you. Like, he's just a dude. He's just some dude who's at the top of his game, but in the end they get all the shit.
They're human beings, you know, at the end of the day, and they're gonna do mistakes.
Yeah. No, Chris, they don't get abused. They don't get abused at all the way. And in all honesty, that's kind of what pissed me off about the Sergio Aguero, Sean Massey Ellis. Is that her name?
The referee, yeah, the girl
the
referee,
female referee. When he touched her that way, and it was like, you don't touch. Like, you wouldn't touch a male referee and pull him away like that, in that way. Where I think in the NFL, if that would have happened, it would be a big to-do.
I know.
And I felt like it wasn't really that much.
Right.
But, yeah. So, guys, don't forget to hit the like button, share, and thank you all for your comments. If there's anything else you guys would like us to discuss right now about referees, let us know in the comments. Anything else from you, Naji? I know you probably got to get back to work soon.
Yeah, shame on Anthony Martial. That's number one. Number two, Jurgen Klopp. You need to take it down a notch and focus and be more professional when you're doing interviews.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, man. Okay. Yes. So Jason is asking if I'm going to be on All Leads TV for the game. Unfortunately, no. They have their whole staff of people, but we're going to have our own live stream. So you may need to have dueling live streams going on, because it's going to be me, James, one of his buddies from New Orleans. We're going to have a few different guys up on our end. But tomorrow I will be on All Leads TV at 1 o'clock. So 6 o'clock Leeds time, and then as you just saw, a couple hours later, Joe will be on our live stream, similar to this, same time, 3 o'clock our time, 8 o'clock Leeds time, and we will be doing an opposition debate, talking about everything. There's Lawler. He just joined the chat. Look at your ugly mug up there, son. Lawler didn't even say okay yet, but I put him in the show. I put him on the flyer, so he's on the show. John, why are you bringing us down like that? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I just saw this story today.
That's terrible. All right, Chris, thank you so much. Yeah, Jason, you're gonna have to be on 2 devices then, man. Lawler says Arsenal gonna smoke Leeds on Lovers' Day. Yeah, a St. Valentine's Day massacre is what it's gonna be. Of course. Yeah, wait a minute. St. Valentine's Day massacre. There you go, Mr. Tom. I knew there was something you got in there. In the 90s, a player named Paolo Di Canio pushed a referee over, and he got suspended.
Di Canio was playing for West Ham. Then he played for Lazio. It was a good player back in the Premier League. You know, scrappy player. Like to fight a lot. You know. Feisty.
Yeah. Well, fantastic. We're looking forward to it. We've got a crazy week going on. We're still trying to get Lawler on the happy hour. So Friday night, for all you Leeds guys who didn't hear, Friday night at 10 o'clock New York, Brooklyn time, which is like 3 in the morning y'all's time, or like, I don't know, 3 in the morning. We're going to be drinking. We're going to be doing trivia. We're going to be doing all that and talking a lot of trash, because what else are you doing on a Friday night except watching us in Brooklyn getting drunk? John, you can't even smoke weed, man. This guy must know you very well, John. I think at the time he played for Sheffield Wednesday, and it happened against Arsenal. I do not like that. Thank you so much for subscribing, Jason, for a while now. Share us with everybody you know. Let's try and get this channel up. Let them know that even though not everything we do is Leeds related, we're still fun. Our show is all about like all about being in a bar in Brooklyn where you got to
Yeah.
know about everybody's team. You got to know about everybody because it's not all your own team. I feel like we've been signing off for about 20 minutes now, but but it's getting exciting with everybody chatting in here. But Naji, anything you got left to say?
No, I'm good. Thank you, Lolo. It was great.
It was fantastic. Lawler, you calling in or you just commenting? I don't know. It's going to take him a minute. He types with 2 fingers. All right. Well, thank you everybody for subscribing. He's watching the Spurs match. They're 1-0 up
Against Everton, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, that's it for us. Don't forget to check me out tomorrow on All Leads TV, Thursday, in case you're not watching this live. And then 2 hours later, we will be here on the Stoop having a little battle. Maybe a rap battle. We'll see. All right, Naji, thank you so much for being a part of this. It was a ton of fun. And I'll see you on the next one. See you at the happy hour.
See you guys. Take care, Lolo.
All right. Peace.